to locate or where they're going to grow. And intense competition follows. In our own region, we have competition in our own state. We really have to have an incentive program that's going to at least make us competitive in the projects that we're going after. We especially pursue manufacturing projects, and the reason for that is it has the highest multiplier effect. You heard Aileen mention that. That's basically for every new job in manufacturing, they're almost always higher paying jobs than average. They have a couple spin-off 1 or 2 jobs as that new employee goes out and buys food at Food Lion and gas, gets their hair cut, their teeth cleaned, that type of thing. And incentives can have a big impact on decisions. So to compete, we've got to have that active incentive policy. It is interesting that in a large corporation that has 10 or 12 production plants within their system, they are competitive for the new taxable investment dollars. If they're going to upgrade or expand one of the plants, it's a competition within that corporation to which plant is going to get that additional investment, that additional growth, those additional jobs. So even our local companies here, within their own companies, they sometimes have to be competitive, and incentives come into play there too. And in return, a company makes an investment in a new or expanded operation, and Amherst County gets those tax benefits and the new jobs. The Board of Supervisors realized we needed to have a program on the books for incentives, and you gave the EDA Board the authority to grant commitments for economic development incentives, and that's in the code. And most incentives are reimbursements of new taxable real estate, machinery and tools, and business personal property tax. So what businesses qualify? They are for-profit, new or existing businesses that derive more than 50% of their revenues from outside the county. So examples of that is manufacturing. It could be regional distribution or service centers, corporate headquarters, IT operations, and even hotels. People come from outside the county, they stay at the hotel, spend their money, and then they leave. Process, how does it work? A qualifying company, when they are thinking about investing, and for some of these companies it's almost a year in advance, they have to put in their corporation or wherever their what they think they need to do to grow their line, their manufacturing line. So a qualifying company, before they're ready to make that decision, will then apply for a EDA incentive, and it'll take it to the EDA board. If the EDA board approves of that incentive, then we will have a performance agreement that is signed by the company, the EDA, and as well as the county. Now, our incentives are basically a tax rebate. They make a new taxable investment, again, real estate, business, personal property, machinery and tools. If you're an existing business, you have to show a new taxable investment of $250,000 threshold or more. If you are a new business, that threshold is $500,000. And the new investment is verified through the Commissioner of the Revenue. After verification, the EDA will request from you all that the incentive amount that the company paid on their new taxable investment for that year is then reimbursed back to them, and they get a check in the mail on that. Most of our tax incentives are for 5 years.
Because they're here, just because they love this place, doesn't mean that they're here forever. And I can say that because over the time that I have been in Earnley, we have been recruited many times to move. Typically, it's states south of us trying to take us away. But it's a common practice, and the way it works every time is the same thing. They call up and they say, so-and-so from somewhere, and this is what I've got to offer you. You know, would you come down here and consider moving to wherever we are? So, you know, the incentives that we offer our companies here can play a part in keeping these businesses.
We have adjoining counties that we're competing with for business to locate here that have the advantage of these tobacco funds. And I can tell you, I was mayor of the town of Amherst for 4 years, and I was on the town council for 4 years prior to that. We directly lost businesses coming to this community because of the tobacco settlement, where they could get this money in adjoining counties. Basically fish out the same pool for employees, be in Central Virginia for whatever reason that they were thinking about locating here. And we lost them because we couldn't compete with the counties that had tobacco money. So what these incentives that we're talking about here today, what they're in place for, really, is to level the playing field a little bit with these other counties, localities that are close by, that can incentivize business to either grow there or locate there. So that's what we're doing with this incentive money. It's worked out well. So if you're basically giving back money that you would have never gotten in the first place for a couple of years, in effort to retain them or to get them to come here for the next 20 or 30 years.